Welcome into Views from the Stands. I'm your host, Stevie B, Steve Brennan, and we got the boys all back together. It's been a little while since we all had the whole group together. The holidays has been fun. It's been really good to see you guys. You guys had a good holiday season so far?
Sir.
Sure, man. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, right around the corner. Woo!
There we go. Big things happening this year. Anyways, guys, we have a special guest on tonight, Mr. Jeremy Nuri. That's going to be really cool to have him on here. A fascinating guy. He's MMA writer, he's a film producer, all kinds of different things. So we're going to have a great fun time talking to him. We got some college football playoffs we're going to be talking about in a little while later on. We have, it's going to affect you a lot, Mr. BC. Your Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Carolina Panthers. We're going to be talking about that one, man. That's going to be a hell of a game coming up all the weekend, man, to finish out this whole thing. And then we also, like we were saying before, we got the college football playoffs going on. That's going to be coming on tomorrow and over the weekend. So we got a lot of stuff to go get into. But without further ado, we're going to go ahead and bring in our featured guest of the night. Welcome into the show, Jeremy. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Awesome, man. That's really cool, man. So you've had a really interesting story. Just reading over the bio and everything like that. And honestly, it's one of those things I feel like you could probably do a hell of a lot better job explaining the whole thing of all the things that you're into, MMA to filmmaking to whatever. Go ahead. The floor is yours, my friend.
Sure. It's been a long journey. You know, I started out as a kid kind of like a nerd. So it's the popular story in every TV show and all that kind of stuff. And then as I grew up, I got into weed, and then I sold weed. I sold drugs out of my house, and I had a long party lifestyle for a while. And during that time, I also was into fighting sports. And so I got job writing for one of the MMA websites called MMA Weekly. And I also wrote for SureDog. And it was during the time when MMA was kind of banned and it was an underground thing. And it opened the door for people like me to be able to write about it and follow the sport and ride that kind of wave with them on the way up as, it became what it is today. And during that process, I kind of took a side path where I was in the cannabis industry for a while. And I did all kinds of things in the cannabis industry. It might be some of my most notable accomplishments. But near the end of that, I was kind of doing events, and I started documenting one of those events, and that led to me becoming a documentary filmmaker, which is what I do now. So, and I do also still produce one cannabis event a year. So I produce all kinds of, I call it being a documentary journalist. I make very low budget films about all kinds of different topics like Bigfoot and UFOs, and also things like martial arts and mindfulness and diet and nutrition, all kinds of topics. So I'm really blessed to be able to have this platform and do all these things and still do the cannabis stuff too.
Yeah, I remember I started watching MMA probably like the Tank Abbott days, all that kind of that era, and to see where it's at now, and to see where the Paramount deal is in about a few weeks away. It's about to go live, and they're going to have to change everything. Do you think it's a good thing that they more access to the sport, or what's your thoughts on how it's changed and where it's going now?
Yeah, I think it is a good thing. Ultimately, the idea would be to make it free, right? Some of the biggest sporting events like the Super Bowl are free. That would be the ultimate. But you also have to make things work. And I think Dana is cutting edge on all that kind of stuff. So if this is real and you're going to pay like whatever they're saying, like $70 or whatever it is a year, and you get all the pay-per-views, you get everything for this $70 a year. I mean, you're going to get a lot of people that'll maybe just pay that instead of illegally downloading. And that is what he's really fighting against, is all the people who pay basically nothing versus the people he's going to lose some of the profit on these like people that were maybe getting a lot of these pay-per-views, spending a few $100 to $1,000 a year. He's going to lose some of those, but he's mostly trying to battle this piracy thing. And I think this is a great idea.
Yeah, I like it as well. I mean, I'm not going to act as if I've never bootlegged it before or anything, but I think this is the perfect way to do it. If you offer people a good price and a good deal and a quality product, then it's a no-brainer to me.
Yeah, I agree. And you know, like the illegally downloading thing is great, and I do it myself. I think everybody does. And Sugar Sean's like, he doesn't know anybody who pays for it, and so like you got your own fighters saying that. Like, this is a big problem, and $70 a year, I might buy that myself. You know, it's really within the reach of most people, and to just have the ease of use to where it always works, and it has to work. You know, it can't be laggy, it can't be problematic, but if it is good and you pay that, I think that's a no-brainer for a lot of people.
Yeah. Definitely. You know, I love MMA just like you, but I really want to talk about your movie stuff, right? Because I was reading off of the biography that you have there, and the kind of movies that you make are not the type of movies that, you know, people are normally going to watch and all that. So I wanted to ask, what is your thought process on all these movies that are very unusual and thought-provoking than other directors would actually do?
Yeah, I'm a crazy person. And so I'm into all of this stuff. Like, genuinely, I can't think of anything that I've done that I wasn't into. I mean, I guess I'm slightly not into astrology, but even that I find interesting. So I'm just like, I sold weed and I did all kinds of partying and I watched all those shows like Monster Hunters and Ancient Aliens. And I developed these like weird tastes for the obscure things in life. And then, of course, I grew up being one of those kids that like was, you know, ostracized for liking all the weird things. I liked anime when I was little. Nobody liked anime when I was a kid. And so there's all these things that I did that kind of made me an outcast, but I loved them. And now it's popular. It's crazy to see how full circle so many of the things that I loved have become. But I've still held on to all those little fascinations about all these things, and you know, I've done a lot in my life, and the thing that I find the most interesting are these bizarre topics. I'm really fascinated about what happens when we die. I'm really fascinated about like abilities that maybe we've lost as humans and all these kind of mysteries of life. So this allows me to kind of have an adult education. It's really a blessing where I get hands-on time with some of these people that you would have to pay a lot of money to be able to sit with and talk to. And I'm just, you know, able to line up interviews and ask them anything I want for a couple hours. It's a really cool thing.
Nice. I was gonna say, well, like again, just like everybody else, just kind of scrolling across the bio too. Just I'm gonna hop back to the MMA scene just a little bit. Obviously, you know, you're big passionate about, you know, fighting the sport around it, but also too like being able to be involved in the sport as well, not just being a casual observer from the sidelines, but being able to actually train in it, and not just train at some local gym, but be able to go 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, and that's places that have housed Joe Rogan, Tony Ferguson, some big names there. You know, Eddie Bravo, your trainer. So, like, what has that been like? Your experience there, being able to train at such a popular gym, and then also too, in addition to that, being able to write for Sherdog and MMA Weekly, again, two of the top promotions or two of the top journalistic institutions in mixed martial arts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was really, really cool at that time. 10th Planet was like a little offset gym. There was only one. There weren't all these different ones. Eddie was the teacher, and Joe Rogan was in my class. The class was separated into like the big guys and then the little guys and girls also on that side. And so I just got annihilated by these little murderers that had, you know, studied all these things. And I was, you know, just a newbie. And so it was really, really cool. I kind of started there in a weird way, too. My friend was the victim of the very first twister in competition.
Oh.
And so Eddie twistered him in a competition. He had no idea what it was. And then he became Eddie's student. And on Sundays, the school was at this place called the Bomb Squad, and on Sundays the Bomb Squad was just open. You could just go there for free. And so my friend was like, "Let's go." And he would come over and get me, and we would go over there and we would train. And I had no official training other than watching UFC, you know, and I could do stuff. And it was really amazing to see, like, I wasn't just like completely helpless. Some of the people that would come in there came from like a striking background. And so if that was the case, I could actually do pretty well against a lot of those guys. And so it really motivated me to try and do more. I was never great though. And going to those schools was always very humbling.
Gotcha.
bet.
Any funny Joe Rogan stories then, or with being in the class?
You know, there wasn't anything really notable, but I will tell you, like, Joe looks ridiculous when he's training. Like, he wears these things over his ears, and like he he just looks like a wrestler. Like, he looks like an old school, like an old timey wrestler. And I mean, my friend used to roll with him. They would have wars, and it was really cool to see that. He was good, you know. And everybody there was like kind of uniquely talented. You had to. He would have some crossover with the Machado gym, so sometimes we would have students that were from other schools, but for the most part, it were these people who were like into his weird style of jiu-jitsu, and that wasn't for a lot of people. So it was a unique group. It was really cool guys.
Have you ever have you got a chance to dabble into making any kind of jiu-jitsu or MMA kind of documentary or film or anything yet, or is that maybe an upcoming project or anything?
So I have one that I made. It's called Why We Fight, and I interviewed 3 different martial artists, shall we say. One is boxer, and they weren't successful in their fighting career, but they still train and they still do things in that world. And so the movie was basically about, why do you do this thing that is, not really, you didn't get the success that you were going to get, but you're still dedicated to it. What do you get out of this thing if it isn't the ultimate goal that you originally started with? And they had really interesting and kind of motivational reasons for doing martial. I'm sure you can imagine that, there's all kinds of life building skills that are based around these things that you get from just doing them and participating in the training. And so that was mostly what it was about.
Nice.
I wanted to ask you, just sticking with the MMA, there's a lot of fans out there in the sports world that think that doing professional sports isn't as crazy as it seems and all that. But I wanted to get you to elaborate on how hardcore the training must be for MMA fighters.
Oh yeah. So like, I mean, there's levels, as they say, right? And so some people are blessed, If you're John Jones or you're somebody very special, it might not be the same for you as it is for everybody else. But the large majority of people are they're training to a point of fanaticism that seems unhealthy, to where you're like, wow, is this actually worth the goal? You basically have to hate every moment of your life almost, and then you get these brief moments of glory. And that's true almost at all the levels, right? So the training is pretty intense, even at amateur and like semi-pro level. And so you have to be fortunate to be having the success to make it to pro. And then your training is relatively similar. Maybe some of the people you're training against are a little better, and therefore it becomes a little different. But yeah, the amount of training that it takes to get results, just in general, that's what's staggering. I mean, you could be lifting weights, and what you really need to do to build your body is pretty extreme.
Yeah. I was going to ask you as well, with regards to filmmaking, documentaries, MMA training, just everything that you've kind of gone through in your life as well. Just checking up on it. a lot of people that have played sports, it's been for them, they go through various challenges and obstacles and things in real life, whether it's, going through maybe financial hardship or going through maybe losing family or friends and stuff like that. They've been able to turn those things into kind of a great tool for them to kind of help overcome those obstacles. What has, I guess, MMA and documentaries and films, like how has that been like a channel for you to be able to overcome various obstacles and challenges in your life?
Yeah, one of the things is facing your ego. And when you are doing martial arts, especially jiu-jitsu, uh, you're facing that a lot. You're sparring. So one of the things that I've noticed about training in some of the other martial arts, I've done Muay Thai training, I've done boxing, I've done a few of the other things, right? You're mostly not sparring in a lot of those classes and a lot of that training. You're like kind of learning certain things and repeating it and going through like uh, well, I'm blanking on the word, but like little training sessions where you're repeating the same actions over and over. And uh, in jiu-jitsu, you're kind of sparring the whole time. Like even in learning, you need somebody that you're learning with. And so in that sense, you're tapping a lot and you're kind of learning where your limits are in a lot of ways. And I trained with girls and I had to tap out to girls, a lot of this stuff is for some guys not super easy to do. And you're facing like a lot of those things head on all the time. And then just in general, when you're doing something that's extremely difficult, it makes things that are like moderately difficult kind of like, oh, whatever with these things, And I think martial arts is a lot of that. And it makes dealing with situations in life a lot easier. And it makes all kinds of things kind of toned down because of how extreme the training is.
Yeah, I'm glad you actually brought up the female aspect of it as well, because I think that the emergence of all like the female fighters and stuff now has been such a blessing for UFC, because they've been adding some of the most exciting fighters. It is definitely a sport that I feel like that anybody really can do. And like you brought up the perfect example, you have to tap sometimes. If an arm bar is an arm bar, it don't matter who's putting it on there.
Yeah.
If it's right, it's not going to matter who it is. Have you? What's your thoughts on that? Since you were saying that you started out when it was kind of younger. And so now, have you seen like an emergence of more female fighters getting involved now, or?
Oh, absolutely. During those days, it was the Dana is never going to allow females in the UFC days. And it was pre-Ronda Rousey. I actually saw Ronda fight at a tiny little cage in a parking lot in Reseda. And she had like faked, she had an injured toe and she like weighed in naked so they wouldn't look at her toe. It's like a whole thing. And I think the female fighters is great, but sometimes they steal the show. I remember the days of Gina Carano, and she was amazing to watch. And training with the girls, I'd like when you're doing a drill with a girl, and the goal is to teach her where that submission is, right? So I'm the crash test dummy, and let her put that triangle on me or whatever it is until I'm tapping and be real about it, because the goal here is the same. You're trying to be more efficient at this stuff, and it doesn't matter who's trying to do it. You're trying to help each other. We're all on the same team.
Yeah. So I want to jump back to the movies right quick, because you got the Super Bowl for the NFL athletes when they go and win it. They're having such a great moment, and some of the times they're crying and they're showing all their emotions. Same thing with the NBA. You see a Game 7 and one team ends up winning an NBA championship, and they're going crazy with emotions. When you see, I want you to describe how you feel when you see your movies come out either on the big screen or even at home now with on demand. How you feel after such an accomplishment of doing such a big project, just seeing put out there for other people to see.
So the big one is we have had a few of them screened on in the theater, and that for me is a really, really cool moment. I still go to the movie theater all the time.
Right.
So for me, it's surreal to see something that I made on the big screen like that. And I've been in a couple of the ones that were screened like that. I'm not in almost any of my movies, but seeing myself like that is like surreal. So it's absolutely what you would imagine. It's like this pride, this like feeling of accomplishment. Um, there's levels to that too, you know. I'm still at a very low level of where that is. They're not screening my movies in the AMC with like all the major motion pictures or anything like that. So that would be a whole nother accomplishment. And, you know, maybe that'll happen someday. It is more likely that they would go on somewhere like Netflix or something like that. And that would be a big deal for me too. The biggest place my movies are available currently is Amazon.
Nice.
So that's
Very
a big
nice.
accomplishment, but
Yeah.
you know, for me, Netflix or HBO would be the ultimate.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Either way, I can't say I can do that.
Yeah, facts. And the last one for me, just a basic generic answer, but I want to know because I feel like as sports fans, we all want to know who our favorite is. Do you have any MMA fighters right now that are your favorites? 1, 2, 3, however many you want.
Oh man, whenever I get put on the spot, I can never remember. The one that comes to mind, I just love seeing a good fight. So there's certain guys, you know, they're gonna always put on a good fight. Justin Gaethje, I mean, every fighter's favorite fighter, right? There's guys like that. I like Michael Chandler. You know, when you're fighting and you're just throwing down like that, that's what I'm looking for. So if you're the type of fighter that holds or you know, is very strategic and dare I say boring, that is not my style at all.
Yeah.
And for me, I understand both sides. You know, like I respect the martial arts. I came from the days where it took Hoist 30 minutes to set up a move, and I get all of that. But where we're at now, this is entertainment, and I'm tuning in to see fireworks. So I don't only follow the UFC. I follow BKFC. Probably my favorite is Glory, kickboxing. I actually flew to Holland in June to see Glory 100, and I caught Rico Verhoeven's last kickboxing fight before he's coming to the UFC.
Intense. That is intense. That's a whole nother realm there too. Just some of those fights.
Absolutely. I mean, kickboxing is another world. I have no idea how it is not more popular in the United States. I think it's just because everybody's a foreigner, but wow, it's my favorite. When you get a good kickboxing event and some of these good kickboxing fights, they're wars on another level.
Mirko Crow Cop in kickboxing, that dude was a stud. Left foot hospital, right foot cemetery. Like, oh my goodness.
Yes.
Love that dude.
Mirko is my favorite at that time. I loved Fedor, but I was a Mirko fan.
Yeah, I think just the way like he just walked to a ring and he was just cold. Like you couldn't phase him. He was just so stoic and he just you just get chills having to stand across from him.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting as well as that Pereira, technically his background, it was in kickboxing really, but he's such a known as a boxer. That's how he's been doing it lately. Just been laying guys out, but technically he's a kickboxer as well.
Oh yeah, and he was very impressive in Glory. He was a 2-division champion, and he had the same effect. You would hit people in Glory with those big gloves on, and they would react like it was different, not like getting hit by anybody else. So really impressive guy. But I also like to point out, like, Rico Verhoeven is almost 300 pounds. So when guys like that start to come over, Alex was never a heavyweight. So like the real crazy ones are the heavyweights. And I want to see some of these guys come in.
With the popularity of sports and starting to get on CBS now with Paramount and everything like that, there probably will be a lot more transition, a lot more people coming over. That's gonna, like you were saying, like I personally haven't heard of the guy that you're talking about, some of the 300-pounder that's in kickboxing. That's got to be a scary individual already, but that's intense. It's probably that's what's coming, I assume.
Yeah, this is what they should be doing right now. I mean, we've seen what they're doing with jiu-jitsu, which is fun. I love all the jiu-jitsu stuff, but you're telling me that people wouldn't go absolutely nuts for like kickboxing rules fights? You could do Pereira versus Adesanya, kickboxing rules. Like you could do so many crazy things with these guys that you have. And
right, and the tournament styles they do as well. They do more like the Grand Prix and stuff, so it's not like it'd be definitely interesting to see.
That's my favorite part about it is UFC used to be tournaments. And so that part is gone. I can't even think of the last time they've even attempted something like that. So Pride used to do some, and the tournament factor of K1 was just so incredible.
Yeah.
So all of this stuff is missing from the American martial arts world. If we could get some tournaments,
I was gonna say, with the popularity of the streaming services now and everything like that, UFC is basically an all-time high in terms of revenue. You think adding something, bringing back a novelty like tournaments would maybe take it to an even higher level than it already is at?
I can't imagine why they wouldn't want to do some of this stuff. It seems like you got more fighters than you need, and you could just offer whatever prize as the total amount and like cut it down to pretty minimum numbers as competitors. It seems like a winning thing that you could do. You got the Apex even. You could, I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of room for these things in my eyes. And if UFC isn't going to do it, hopefully somebody else steps in. I know that K1 did a tournament not all that long ago. And I haven't been following if they've done some more since then, but I want to see that stuff again. Those were some of my favorite days in martial arts.
Maybe it just takes a great filmmaker to let the world know that what they're missing out on, my friend.
I'll send a proposal.
Yep.
Well, Mr. Jeremy, you got anything you want to promote before we get you out of here, buddy?
Just my website. You know, I try to keep it up to date with all my movies over there. The latest movies I've made are I made a movie about marijuana legalization from the hemp days to the recreational days. It's called America's $1 Billion War. And there's some crazy stuff that went down that people just don't know if you just follow the news and think this recreational thing is a big success. So that's one. I made a van life movie a little earlier in the year called Miles from Normal. But everybody likes my UFO and Bigfoot stuff. If you go on my website, theskyisland.com, in my filmography, you can find all that kind of stuff. In my martial arts movies, I made a women's pro wrestling movie. I love all kinds of different stuff, and you can find all kinds of topics there.
Nice. That is awesome, man. We definitely want to have you come back on here pretty soon, especially with UFC going on the public with that whole Paramount thing and stuff. So we'll be definitely checking back in with you very soon. We wish you the best of luck, my friend, and have a happy new year.
Absolutely. Anytime. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Thank you,
Jeremy, man. Great stuff out there, man. Well, fellas, that was always fun trying to have someone come on. And if anybody is interested in coming on, just let us know. But we wish the best of luck for Jeremy, especially coming in the new year. Got some big projects coming up, so that's going to be a lot of cool stuff for him. Before we get into the news of the day and everything like that, we also got to give a shout out to Varsity Sports that's also been riding with us. And they have a lot of big stuff coming up next year. I talked to them a couple weeks ago. Got some new sporting events coming on their way on their streaming platform. You can catch us live. You can catch multiple different high school sports and college sports and our shows and a couple other shows. If you're interested in that, it's on the iOS, the Android, your Apple TV, your Fire TV, pretty much anywhere you can get your social medias.
Roku. We're on Roku.
Don't forget them. We appreciate them for riding with us and supporting us. And we try to make sure that they get out there because they're really great people and they've been helping us out since we pretty much got started with this whole thing. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump into the news of the day.
News from the world of sports.
All right, fellas. Well, today was a big day for about 16 prolific NFL players. They got it narrowed down to this today was the cutoff day pretty much to get it narrowed down to the Pro Football Hall of Fame class. So out of up on the screen here, we have about 16 players that they all are hopeful this year. Some are repeat guys that's been around for a little while, and then we have some guys that's on there for the first time. So we were kind of going to go ahead and give you our opinions on who we thought out of this class that's right now who should make it in. But we all did agree on two of them right off the bat. So if you're not familiar with how the voting goes for the Pro Bowl, the Pro Football Hall of Fame, is that they usually have between 5 to 8 candidates that get in every year. It's off of different merits, different longevity. Also, in 2020, because of all the things that happened with COVID, they allowed more people in. So that was kind of the outlier year. It's generally anywhere between 5 to 8 people that make it in. So we're going to give you where all we thought our 5 should be. We all have both agreed, and I feel like most people, if you're looking at the list on here, are all going to agree. Drew Brees and Larry Fitzgerald this is their first year on there, and I don't think they'll be on this list for very long because I think they're getting in first ballot, first time Hall of Fame. What's you guys' thoughts on Drew Brees and Larry Fitzgerald? We all agreed off camera that, this was our guys. BC, man, what's your thoughts on these guys?
These guys were basically top 3 at their position for well over a decade. And they were offense. If they weren't in the MVP running, which unfortunately, Drew Brees, I think his biggest shortcomings that he never won MVP in his career. He was offensive player of the year. He was always that number 2 guy behind the Peyton Mannings, the Tom Bradys, but he was one of the greatest prolific passers of really of all time. Highest completion percentage, one of the highest completion percentages of any quarterback, and at such a small stature. Like, he could just get the ball out to his receivers where they needed it to, and he was responsible for, I believe, the majority of the 5,000-yard seasons in league history. And then Larry Fitzgerald, hands like glue. One more you need to say. You threw it to him. He was going to catch it. There was nothing you were going to do to get it out of his hands. So, easy picks.
Mike, do you think that Larry Fitzgerald, obviously you're going to come up with, he had all the accolades and stuff, but never got the ring. How much do you think that matters in these situations, especially like a first ballot guy?
It matters a lot because at the end of the day, it's all about winning, right? No matter what anybody tells you, these players will tell you, and they'll tell themselves. At the end of the day, it's all about the dub. You see it in the NBA, you see it in the NFL, you see it in the MLB. Doesn't matter if a dude is putting up a 45-point game, 50-point game. It doesn't matter if a dude is throwing 6 touchdowns, 7 touchdowns. It doesn't matter if a dude hits 3 runs. If they don't get the win, they're not going to care, and they're going to go home still sad no matter what the accolades say, right? But with Larry Fitzgerald, just like BC said, man, top 3 in his position for over a decade, bro. Same thing with Drew Brees, but Larry here, man, 5 seasons that he had 100+ receptions, 9 seasons where he had 1,000+ receiving yards, 5 seasons where he had 10+ TDs, and he was the heart and soul of that Arizona Cardinals offense for more than a decade. And when it comes to Drew Brees, man, very underrated at his position because of his height. He was like, what, 5'7", 5'8", maybe 5'9"? Dude,
I'd give him maybe 5'10". I think I'm 5'6" and 3/4.
Hey, Football Reference says 6 foot, so
it's still small for his position. You could barely see over the offensive line where guys are 6'5" to 6'8", 300 and something pounds, so you can't see over them, and you can't see to the right of them, you can't see to the left of them. And with that being said, he had 14 seasons with the Saints, right, that throwing 24 or more passing TDs, only threw for under 2,000 yards once in 19 years that he's been playing. He's the Super Bowl champion, and he holds the record, the second spot in NFL history of most passing TDs with 571, right behind the GOAT, Tom Brady. And Tom Brady had 649. You going to tell me that he's not going to be our first ballot Hall of Famer? Tripping.
This is what also makes sports a lot of fun, too. Thank you for checking in as well. We had got Brees, Fitz, Gore, Vinatieri, Luke, and Witten. That's a hell of a combo. I definitely see pretty much all your points in that one as well. Which kind of goes to what we were saying as well about the rings, really, because I think Frank Gore could be my after pick on this one, because we both, like we were saying before, we all agreed on Brees and Fitzgerald. Frank Gore, just the longevity of what he was able to do, the amount of time he played, being able to stay healthy. He did not win a ring. That was one of the only things that you can't say about Gore, but he was just one hell of a player the entire career. He never, until it kind of fell apart at the end, but that's everybody. But he played so many seasons, and I agree. I think Frank Gore should be in this group he's gonna be my next pick on here for guys getting in.
Yeah, I definitely have Frank Gore up there too. I would say for my fourth, it's kind of, when it comes to 3, 4, and 5, it's kind of like they're all there at the line, right? But I would say Frank Gore. I'll put Adam Vinatieri because I think he's one of the GOAT kickers. I mean, this guy has won so many games for the Colts and Patriots for them to keep going into the playoffs or even into the Super Bowl. So I feel like you got to put him there. And then this one is just more biased for me. Jason Witten, I feel like he was the ultimate safe security blanket for quarterbacks, like just dumping the ball off to Jason Witten. You know that he was going to catch the ball and probably get like 10, 15 yards after the catch. So that's more of a bias. But, dude, Willie Anderson, Eli Manning beat two great Patriots defenses to win Super Bowls. Luke Kuechly was the greatest middle linebacker, in my opinion, when it comes to intelligence. I mean, they're all there, bro. Honestly, they're all there.
So I'm gonna disagree a little bit with Frank Gore just because my remaining 3 picks have a little bit more to do with just because of where they're at in terms of their eligibility. I think that, and Steve, you're gonna love this, I think that Reggie Wayne is long overdue, I think, for a Hall of Fame spot. His longevity, what he was able to do as a number 2 receiver alongside Marvin Harrison, can't be understated. They form him, Harrison, James, and Peyton Manning and Dallas Clark form one of the greatest offenses in league history. I think the same thing needs to be said about Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce, Kurt Warner, and Marshall Faulk in The Greatest Show on Turf. I think that those guys, again, they retired. Holt's been retired since 2009. Wayne's been retired since 2014. I feel like that's been plenty of time that they've had to wait. I think it's their time now to get in. A lot of these other guys on the list, Willie Anderson, you can kind of critique. He's been there even longer than both of them, but I don't think he had necessarily the peak that is worthy of a Hall of Fame candidacy. And a lot of these other players kind of retired after guys like Reggie Wayne. Darren Woodson kind of in that same category. He peaked in the 90s, was part of a great Dallas Cowboys defense for sure, but I just don't see him quite at the same level of Hall of Fame, maybe Hall of Very Good. And then my final pick, we've been going mostly offense this entire time. I'm going to go with Terrell Suggs. Defensive Player of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year, multiple-time leading the league in sacks, one of the greatest edge rushers of his generation, and Super Bowl champion in Baltimore. So and again, one of the scariest defenses of the 2000s and the 2010s, and he was basically the guy that was getting after the quarterback the majority of time. So I got to make Terrell Suggs my number 5.
Yeah, you took a couple of them that I was going to go with there as well. So I agree with you. T Sizzle is going to be my guy as well.
T Sizzle.
Yeah, he's got to get in there, man. One of the most dominant defenders, scariest individuals on the field. Just absolutely amazing. And I've been saying as well, we've been talking about this for a while. We did this last year too. You got it right for me too. Reggie Wayne. Reggie Wayne needs to be in there. He has been on the list shorter amount of time than Torrey Holt, and I do agree that Torrey Holt deserves to get in there, but I think Reggie Wayne's numbers were just a little bit better. And also Reggie Wayne did it with Andrew Luck as well, and he was there with the Indianapolis for a while. He had longevity. He played for a hell of a career. So I'm just trying to get him in the Hall of Fame for quite a while. So I would go with Reggie Wayne as well. But give me Suggs, Gore, and we already agreed on Fitzgerald and Breeze, but give me Wayne in there as well. So yeah, that's me, my picks in there, Mr. G. Mike, what's your official ones?
Number 1, Larry Fitzgerald. 2, Drew Brees. Number 3, Frank Gore. 4, Adam Vinatieri. 5, Jason Witten.
All right, and then for me in no particular order: Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, Torrey Holt, Reggie Wayne, and Terrell Suggs.
Yeah, and I'll round it out with, like you were saying as well, no particular order here: Frank Gore, Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, Reggie Wayne, and Terrell Suggs. Man, that's such a hell of a class in there too. And I honestly would love to put Adam Vinatieri in there in that group. But I feel like with a kicker, he's definitely going to be getting in because there's no one that really changed the game like he did for the era that he played. Maybe we can maybe Justin Tucker or something like that later on. But with his legal issues that he had, that might be hitting the brakes a little bit. But
he's like Voldemort. You don't say his name.
Yeah, exactly. You can't talk about him yet until he comes back in the league. But anyways, Vinatieri, I think there's no brainer and no doubt about that he, if not this year, maybe even next or so, will be in there as well. So I would love to put him in there, but that's going to round out my my top ones in there.
Yeah, quick shout out on my cousin Junior, man. Joe Flacco's not better than Drew Brees. Sorry.
Oh my word! I'll say some cannabis right there, man.
That's 24/7 with him. Yeah.
All right, fellas. Well, we're these guys all. You have to start from somewhere, man, and they would love to be playing on this one, man. We got the college football playoffs coming up starting tomorrow playoffs? Yeah, I don't know if you heard that or not, but the playoffs. So, anyways, yeah, we had the. We have the college football playoffs.
Joe Flacco slander. Oh man.
Old man Flacco.
It is impressive what Flacco's been able to do. I mean,
he's not better than Drew Brees. I'm sorry.
No. Not even better than Baker.
Better than Baker? Damn.
No, I'm saying he ain't better than Baker. That's my thing.
The last 2
weeks, he still comeback player of the year from Baker like 2 years ago, man. I'm still pissed about that.
Baker was MVP the first 3 weeks, and now he's turned into.
Hey, first 5 weeks. Shut up, man. That's the whole team, man. Can we get to that later, please?
No, we're gonna get into that later.
Please.
Go.
Oh.
Yeah, so like we were saying before, we have the big games coming up this weekend. As New Year's traditions, man, we have the college football playoffs going full swing here. It's getting down to like the Big 8 here, and G-Mike, I know you're excited. Ohio State, going back to the early 2000s where got robbed, in my opinion, from Ohio State off that BS pass interference call. How are you thinking it's going to favor out this year, though? Two completely different offensives and completely different teams. What's your thoughts on how this is going to play out here? Miami, Ohio State.
Man, I love the U, man. I love man. Big Ten fan since I was been a kid, bro. And I wish I was more confident in this matchup, man. It's just I can't think of any situation that Carson Beck can lead this offense over a great Ohio State defense after what I saw last week against Texas A&M. I just can't see it. I can't see him going out there and throwing 3 touchdowns, or if not throwing 2 at minimum, and us having at least 1 rushing TD, because we're going to need at least 21 points to beat Ohio State, because our defense is solid. Our defense is really solid. Like, if we had this year's defense was last year's offense, I think we win it all day. I think we go all the way to the championship, and I think we win it 100%. But this offense with this defense, I think it's just going to be a letdown, man. We're going to be able to stop them the first half, bro. Second half, it's going to get a little bit tired, man. Defense is going to get tired. They're going to be out there so much on the field because our offense is not going to be able to do shit except a little bit of running game, which I think would be in the first quarter and the second quarter, the midway point of the second quarter. Then going into the half, we're going to be slowing down, but it's not going to be enough for the second half, and I think Ohio State is going to beat us by 10 or more points, man. And it sucks to say, man, because I wish we could beat them, bro, but Ohio State, they're number 1, man. I know they're number 2 right now, but in my eyes, I really think they're number 1. I think they're over Indiana, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm going to take Ohio State in this one as well. I don't think that it's going to – I think it's going to be Ohio State's going to run through them, I think, honestly. I think Ohio State's just complete on all levels. I do agree with you, the defense. Miami's defense is very good, but I think you nailed on the head that I don't think offensively they're going to be able to hang with them, and I think Ohio State's going to show why they deserve to be in the spot that they're in and possibly even be the number 1 overall seed.
Yeah, I think that, like you said as well, like that first half, I think it's going to be a pretty close game relatively, but then that second half starts coming in. I think Ohio State's going to dial it up. They're going to be way more aggressive on offense, and I think that's just when you're going to start seeing the game slip away for the Canes, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting as well, So I think we're all going to pick Ohio State in this one, and I kind of I hate to be that what they call it, chalk picks or something like that, but I really don't think that. This week, I think there are going to be some interesting games, but looking at all of these overall games, I think Indiana is going to dominate Alabama. Alabama was impressive last week, though. I will give them credit. The offense came, and they couldn't get anything going at first, but I think Indiana's story is there. They got the momentum going, and I like what they're doing. Heisman winning quarterback. I don't think Alabama's going to hang with them. I think Georgia's going to dominate Ole Miss as well. And I'm going to take Texas Tech over Oregon in this one. I think Texas Tech is also Texas Tech's been a great team this whole season. And I love this. I love the idea of that. They basically got all their NIL money and was like, why can't we be a part of this? And so they turned around and did it. And it's great to see them at this position right here. So yeah, I'm kind of going chalk picks in this one. I hate to be that guy, but I don't think there's gonna be very many upsets going into this. BC, what's your thoughts, man?
I would tend to agree on most of these. Again, I think Bama and Indiana is going to be closer than I think a lot of people are thinking it's going to be. But I think Fernando is going to just, show why he's the Heisman winner. I think he's going to just come in clutch. He's going to be composed. I don't think he's going to commit many mistakes, and that's going to be the difference in the game. Georgia, Ole Miss ain't got Lane Kiffin. They're getting the break speed off of them in this one, and it's going to be the tails all the time. Coach calls it quits, leaves, and his team just gets absolutely dog walked in this one. No pun intended, obviously, for this game. And then I've got Oregon beating Texas Tech in this one. I think that Oregon's just played stiffer competition. I think that more battle-hardened season that they've had to go through is what's going to take them over the top. And I think if I had to pick the closest game in all of these, it's probably going to be this one, but I'm still going to comfortably take Oregon, though.
Yeah, I can't confidently say that Texas Tech is just going to take this game and roll with it. I think they're going to make a lot of mistakes just because they haven't really been there before. I know the NIL money really made a difference for them this season, 100%. Like it really flipped their whole organization around, their whole team around. But I just feel like Oregon, obviously new kids, new players and stuff like that, but they've been there before. And I think that the coaching staff will have that experience and then it will excel over that Texas Tech. But, man, if Lane Kiffin was there, man, I would pick Ohio. I would pick Ole Miss. I would pick Ole Miss all day if Lane Kiffin was there. Man. But I agree with BC. For him not to be there, for them to have a different head coaching, the guy at the realm, the guy, the head of the snake, not to be there, and the head of the snake has been cut off, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just can't see them without him. I don't see them being a tough Georgia squad that's been tough for the last 5-6 years.
Yeah, I am taking Georgia in that game as well. I mean, you could also play that up that the players, he left the players, and the players want to prove that it wasn't all just Lane Kiffin. So they could have that, extra fight in them. But I think overall, I think Georgia's just too battle tested. Kirby Smart is a fantastic college coach and just could have been a fantastic coach at any level. So I hate to be like I was saying before. I hate to make all like the pretty much no upsets really, but I just don't see them really happening this one. I am interested in seeing the Indiana-Alabama game though. I do think that one's going to be a lot of fun to see, but I just like the way Indiana's playing, and I think that story continues on, man. It's fun. It's awesome. And hey, I have no dog in this. I have no dog in this fight. And I was born in Indiana, so go Hoosiers.
No. Yeah, seriously, get some new blood in here. Like we've been getting the same teams for the last 10 years. Right. I'm all for it. It's Big Ten, but I'll take it. And then I will say this: Texas Tech, the only chance I see them winning this game is if somehow it could happen. Chiefs ain't in the playoffs no more. You could sneak Patrick Mahomes into Jersey. He could turn back the clock a little bit. Red Raiders uniform, or if he's somewhere on the sidelines, maybe bring some good mojo with him or something. That's pretty much it. If he ain't at that game, they could.
Not happening.
I'm gonna pray. I'm gonna pray tonight. I'm gonna pray tonight. I'm gonna pray in the morning. I'm gonna pray before the game. We play tomorrow, 7:30.
Yeah, man.
New Year's Eve. Miami, do it for us, baby. Hey.
Yeah, so we're going to move from the college game and move over to the pros. And this is going to be one hell of a weekend for multiple different reasons. You got the NFC South, Mr. BC's stomping grounds on the line. The Carolina Panthers and the Bucks. You got the Ravens and the Steelers fighting for that last weekend to make it for the AFC North. BC, I can tell this one's already getting to you, my man. What do you think is going to happen this Sunday? And how the hell are we both almost in this situation where Indianapolis was doing so good, and now they're not even in the playoffs, and now you guys are doing so good? it may not be making the playoffs.
It didn't have to be this way. It didn't have to be this way.
When she's
Sing it. Sing it, G-Mike. Just sing it, man. It didn't have to be this way, man. We had everything in the bag. Even if you lose to the Patriots, I could accept that. To the Bills, I could accept that. And just accept the fact that we're just going to be a team that gets bounced in the first or second round. I get that extra paycheck come the second week of January. It was going to be beautiful. I was going to set some money aside. I was going to maybe take the missus out to a nice dinner somewhere. Todd Bowles, you ruined it with everything.
He said Todd Bowles
and Baker. I still love you, but you're not off the hook for that. Like that interception with Mike Evans in week 16 was unforgivable. That was awful. Gosh.
I didn't want to interrupt his rant. I didn't want to interrupt the rant.
Don't do my dog Steve like that, man. Don't do my dog Steve like that, man.
No. The Gators play, I believe, is August 22nd of 2026. Something like that. Yeah, it's in that area and that date.
Gio, you're singled out. Brew from the missus.
How is she? Oh my word! She's taking our Facebook profile and using it for horrible purposes. I love you, babe. Love you. She's in the other room right now watching.
Thank you for the views.
Yes. Thank you for chiming in, honey.
Share it, give it to any, and pass it along to everybody.
Oh gosh, yeah. Losing gets passed along to everybody apparently. Oh, it's just awful. Well, the fact of the matter is that even if the Bucs beat the Panthers on Sunday, we still might not win the NFC South. Because if the Atlanta Falcons beat the New Orleans Saints because they somehow pulled off a miracle against MVP Stafford and beat the Rams, we could be in a three-way tie with 8-9 records, and we would lose the tiebreaker to Carolina. If that happens, I better not hear any Bucs fans saying that Todd Bowles should be back this next year. If we do not make the playoffs, even if we win 8-9, even if we get in the playoffs, you get bounced in the first round like that. This season has been abysmal. To go from 6-2 to 8, or to go and then 7-9, and you're on the outside looking into the playoffs. You have lost the locker room on so many ways, my guy. And I'll just keep it at that. But that's embarrassing. And if you're the player.
The question is,
yes,
do you think you win on Saturday?
I think we do because it's at home. I know that obviously we've had our struggles and everything. We're not playing in the creamsicle jersey, so that little aberration against the Falcons, that's not happening. All right, we're fine there. But I do think it's not a primetime game, so the lights aren't on as bright, which that's just really deflating.
It is primetime because it's on Saturday.
Well, yeah, but I think it's like the first game on Saturday, right? Aren't there two games?
4:30.
Yeah, so it's not the primetime slot on Saturday. It's not Saturday Night Football. So, but that's even more deflating. Is to say that as a fan, because the lights aren't on bright and we're not wearing our like favorite uniforms, we are somehow we could somehow win. Oh gosh, we'll go back to that comment. I want to see that again.
I got you. Hold on.
Oh my gosh,
this is what he said first.
As a bar at every stage of beard growth.
That is so funny. I legit was going to shave because I have this shitty beard thing that like I just ran out of time.
Let it grow.
I didn't think it was actually going to even notice it, but thanks to HD cameras and lighting, it works wonders, I guess. So I can only hope to become a real boy like these gentlemen up here.
I'm a real boy.
Thank God it's not my boys roasting me again.
Or your wife, for that matter.
Or my wife. Gosh.
Yeah, I do think that the Bucs pull it out on Saturday for sure, but I don't know if we're making the playoffs because again, the Falcons have a 54% from what I've last seen. They got a majority chance of beating the Saints. So I don't know, man. We'll win. I think we'll win, but that doesn't mean we're in. I'll just say that.
I hope that you guys win because at least one of our teams will be in the playoffs.
I do too. I want that extra paycheck, man. I need that.
But do I believe that they win? Negative, man. dude, that defense has just been so atrocious, and your rush defense has been bad as well. And this is a perfect opportunity for Rico Dotto and Chuba Hubbard to split carries, and both of them still put up 100+ yards and a tutty. And then if that happens,
doing that against us before.
And if that happens, that means that Bryce Young is going to have a great game on not so many passes thrown, but his completion percentage is probably going to be over 75% with one TD throw, no interceptions. And it sucks to say, man, because I really hope that you guys win. Again, just like for your sake, that you get a team in the playoffs. At least one of our teams gets in the playoffs, because right now it's looking horrible. But bro, that defense, man, has been disappointing.
And that's supposed to have been Todd Bowles' specialty. That's supposed to have been his calling card, is the defense. And I know we've dealt with injuries. I know we've dealt with setbacks and adversity. But guess what? We've dealt with it before. But we've never been this bad before on that side of the ball. And it really does look like a lot of players have just checked out. You've seen Mike Evans shouting 3rd and 28 after the Falcons lost. You saw Vita Vea and Antoine Winfield Jr. getting on Hassan Reddick. People, it just looks like they've checked out. So I want to believe that they can get that win. And I think they could at home, because it's everything is set up for them to win. But I just have a sinking feeling in the pit of my stomach that they're going to drop this one. And if it happens, maybe for the greater good, we move in a different direction next year. I never like advocating for people to lose their jobs and stuff like that, but this ship is sinking, and you need to find a way to fix it fast, and that might mean a new direction. So
I'm kind of leaning towards Carolina in this one, man. I'm not gonna lie. I'm hoping the best for you, but yeah, man, it's gonna be difficult. I'm leaning towards Carolina. I just like the way Carolina's been playing, and the run game's been great, and like you're saying, the defense. I'm hoping for the Bucks. Just like we were saying, I feel bad for you because I know how much you love your Bucks, but if my team can't make it,
it's the 50th season. We were supposed to celebrate this, put that logo on a championship ring, and then we do this.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So there's also another major game coming up this weekend. We got the Steelers and we got the Ravens. And man, going into if you would have took this game week 1, you would have thought, okay, hey, this makes sense that the Ravens are in it. But as the season went on, the Ravens fell apart. They went out. Lamar got hurt. They just fell apart completely. Put together enough to get to this spot here, fellas. What is going to happen on Sunday with this game, man?
Dude, I'm just glad John Harbaugh finally gave the ball to Derrick Henry. It was like, wow, I have one of the best running backs in the league. Oh, my God. Let's probably I don't know, let him run the ball. Let him get over 20 rushing attempts. Let him try to get multiple touchdown game again. Let him try to get so many damn yards, over 100 or 150 yards. Maybe it could work out, and maybe we can win.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it is kind of weird that they were doing that. They haven't been giving it to Derrick Henry like that. It finally shows up, and it could just be also a preview for the Packers coming up. That might have been the writing on the wall of how to beat the Packers right there, as well as just run all over them. So, you guys got any thoughts or any prediction that you guys want to lay out there for the Steelers-Ravens game?
I think, because obviously Lamar's status, from what I've seen, is to be determined still. Like, he's still, I don't think it's been confirmed yet. So I'm going to go with, maybe it's not so bold, but I feel like he's going to sit. And like G-Mike said, they're just going to go all out on Derrick Henry. And I think he's going to do just enough to be able to grind out a win for them. And it's going to be all because of him. I think that he's going to be the offense in this game. And I think that it's going to be probably like a 13-14 point type of game for both sides.
I agree with that last part that you said, that they're going to go off of him and try to get him to do everything 2 weeks in a row, for sure. But I disagree with the fact of the Ravens winning. I just think that the Pittsburgh rush defense is way better than their pass defense by a huge margin. And I think that they'll be able to stop Derrick Henry and keep him to like maybe under 70 yards If he does get a TD, it's because they got into red zone, but I don't even think Baltimore Ravens are going to get into the red zone. I think, if anything, most of their points are going to come from field goals. So I would take the Steelers in this one, winning, eventually getting to the playoffs.
Yeah, no, I'm going to go with the Steelers as well. I especially if Lamar doesn't play, I think that the Steelers will do just enough to make it in the playoffs, and I think that they'll get this win and clinch the North. But what a wild division, man. Cincinnati's not it. That wasn't a factor. Obviously, Burrow got hurt. So Cleveland had probably one of the best defenses all year, if not the best defense all year, and they only win like 3 games. It's just, and then they set up this whole scenario because they knocked off Pittsburgh last week. This game is so awesome. You got to love the NFL Sundays, man. There's just always something going on, always some awesome stuff going on. And like we were saying before, too, is as you can see the graphic up here, man, there's going to be one hell of a playoffs. I really like all these teams that are in. I really feel like you could make a case that they could really make some noise. And so next week we'll definitely be obviously talking more about the actual playoffs because we'll have everything played out. But man, there's going to be some interesting teams. How about the excuse me, the AFC East? And you got the New England Patriots clinching the AFC East. I mean, who would have saw that one coming? The Bears are back. It seems like they won the NFC North. I mean, no one really picked a lot of these in here. So I think the playoffs are going to be really interesting this year on the teams that I don't think that many people had going into these ones. And we could also review our picks for the division maybe next week as well, just for a good laugh, because we got some right and some we got wrong. So.
L's everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, so that's going to wrap it up there, and we're going to do one of our favorite segments, which everybody loves on here. We're going to wrap things up with our DownBad Debate.
It's time for the DownBad Debate.
All right, tonight's DownBad Debate is going to be a little bit different. We're going to try something a little bit different than we usually do. We usually just put some sort of graphic up and kind of debate on what we got going on. We are still going to have a debate, but we had a controversial statement, surprise from Fries, from Draymond Green, and it was an interesting topic. And so we're going to go ahead and play this segment for you right quick, and then we're going to give our thoughts and see if we agree on what he's thinking here. Oops. Take it away, Draymond.
About
time now, thanks.
How great playing on Christmas Day is, how much of an honor it is. And yes, it is an honor to be considered one of the draws, the great draws that is in the NBA. When I say draws, I mean media attention, eyeballs. People wanting to see, people being interested in the particular team is great. To play on a day where everybody's watching, it's incredible. All of those things are great, but 2 things can be true at once. Playing on Christmas Day also fucking sucks. And the reason it sucks is, number one, what I just said, it can affect your mood. Number 2, we are human beings, and just like everyone else, enjoy Christmas Day with their families. That kind of gets messed up for us in their homes or on a vacation with their families making memories. We don't get that opportunity. So I hate when people are like, oh man, it's an honor to play on Christmas Day. People should shut up. Like, no, you should shut up, because whether you played on Christmas Day or not, I don't really care of the perspective, whether it's the perspective of someone that played on Christmas Day or someone that has never come close to playing on Christmas Day, or an NBA game for that matter. My stance on it is the same. Playing on Christmas Day is great. It's fun. You get all the eyeballs, but you miss family time. And so for all of those that you should be honored, honored to miss your family time, honored to miss your kids opening gifts, honored to leave your kid and go to work, because no one works on Christmas Day. So we're going to work, right? So everybody say, oh man, it's this great honor. I just want to give you a little perspective.
All right, well, Draymond Green always has something to say. Mr. G. Mike, you found this one. What's your perspective on this one? Does he have a point? Is he speaking the truth? Is that something you agree with?
I agree and disagree at the same time. I feel like, and I must just speak from the disagreement side first because of the experience that I've been in. Yeah, I've never played an NBA game, and I probably not probably I will never play an NBA game for sure. And that's something that people that haven't played in the NBA, they can't really speak on, that they say you can't really speak on. But I feel like you can, just because you don't have the same perspective as that person that's in the game. You could have your own perspective as someone out the game and just watching the game, right? I've worked on Christmas. It definitely sucks. It's just not the end of the world, right? But I do understand what he's saying, that he'd rather be at home sometimes and be with his kids and play with his kids, watch them open their presents and all that. I truly believe that he really believes that. But I would bet a lot of money that if he never played on Christmas Day, he would be advocating on why the fact the Golden State Warriors have never played on Christmas Day, why they never been chosen to play on Christmas Day. So I think it's a double-edged sword. I do agree with what he's saying, that playing on Christmas Day must suck for sure because you want to be with your family and friends. But I'm pretty sure that he would want to play on Christmas Day before he's ever played on Christmas Day, that he would want to play that day because it is a special moment. Like, yeah, the NFL is trying to take over Christmas now for the last 3 years, but the NBA has always had Christmas Day. It's always had 5 or 4 games going throughout the day, and people love to tune in and watch NBA on Christmas because they're at home watching these professional athletes go around and dribble a basketball and try to make some points and put it in the hoop. But I really believe that there's a double-edged sword to it. I do think that he wants to be at home with his family and friends and watch them open up gifts, but I am pretty sure that he loved the experience on playing on Christmas Day as well.
What's your thoughts, BC?
So I tend to agree a little bit more with the humanistic side of Draymond. As far as for me, I've never really worked on Christmas, especially in sports though too. Especially like most of the teams I played for, they haven't had that marketability to be able to play on Christmas Day, so it's kind of been a little bit of a blessing. Some people be like, "Wow, like that sucks," like you never get to do a Christmas game. But for me, I love being home with my family on Christmas, even at other jobs where you would have to work on Christmas. If it's a weekend, like at Universal, I make sure that I take that day off. I make sure I take Thanksgiving off. Just because for me, it does mean that much, and I think that it's something we can't really go back in time and kind of fix. Because your grandparents will say, well, back in my day, everybody took Christmas off. Everywhere was closed across the country. And for me, yeah, I would say I think that that's a beautiful thing. Like, yeah, everybody just put down work for one day, go home, be with family, be with friends, just be with people. Even if maybe you're far away from your family and you can't go home and visit them, see if there's somebody that will invite you over. Just be around people, and there's just something beautiful about just being able to spend time with the ones you love. So for me, I definitely do understand where he's coming from. And again, like you're saying, G Mike, I do think you are right as well. Where if he had never played an NBA game on Christmas Day, he might probably be curious about what's the novelty, what's the curiosity about that. I've never done this before. But I think because he has done it for so long, and it's just kind of now him and his team, they're just kind of seen as an attraction. It's like, why do I keep doing this thing where I'm missing time with my family? And for what? Another year of continuing to miss Christmas? I get it. It's cooler, but it kind of loses its luster after a while. And so I think for me, that's why I just tend to side more with the, I guess, for lack of a better term, just traditionalist side of, I'd rather be with my family. I'd rather spend time with my family because, there's always going to be time for work, whether it's in basketball or whether it's post basketball. But time with your family, you never know when those times come to an end. And so it's like it's really important, at least for me. I know everybody's different, but for me, I want to cherish that time that I have with family, like being able to see my kids grow up one day, being able to, grow old with my wife, to me, it means that much more.
Yeah, and I think you definitely have valid points. It's very it's a tricky, touchy subject for some people. Whatever.
Yeah.
I think the problem I have with what he's saying is one of the last statements that he said, and it was the fact that nobody works on Christmas Day. That's not true at all. That's where I kind of get even kind of frustrated about it, because I've had a lot of experience. I work in a hospital on it for a regular day where there are plenty of people are working in there because people have to take care of it. I was also in the military. Whenever I was in the military, we were out to sea and taking care of people on Christmas Day. So the fact that you have this thought that it's so special that you're playing for 3 hours to play basketball on Christmas Day, to be entertaining, to do a profession that you love and that you would love to be and that you love to be a part of. That's where I kind of get frustrated on it. Now I understand it. I'm not going to be a total dick about the whole thing. All I'm saying is that you have to kind of think sometimes whenever you're making statements like nobody works on Christmas Day, because there's plenty of people that work on Christmas Day, and do they want to? Not necessarily, but they have to, and they do it, and then they do it, and they go spend time with their family whenever they can. So the fact of that you're making this whole thing about that you have to play on Christmas Day, I understand the fact of, yes, it is a little bit of a sacrifice that you have to make, that you're going to miss a little bit of time with your family and stuff, but it's playing basketball in front of a bunch of people. And the other aspect is that it's a family thing as well, is that a lot of people get together and watch these games because they're excited and it is an entertaining thing. So you could also look at it as that aspect of that you are bringing joy to a lot of people that are at home or doing whatever they are to do. It's a break for them as well. So that's where I get the fact of nobody works on Christmas Day. That line, I think, is where I lose him. I understand what he's talking about, but to make such a broad statement, that's not really fair.
Yeah.
He really shouldn't have said that, for sure. 100%. He shouldn't have said that, because it's like us, right? Like, I really hope that we get to the point that we could be this big time reporters across the nation, wherever the hell it might be. I really hope that does happen for us. But I was talking about it with my wife the other day. What that comes with, we're going to have to work on holidays. I hope you guys know that. Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, Halloween, Valentine's Day. It doesn't matter. We're going to have to work those holidays, right? So it's like you wanted the profession, and it's not like Draymond Green got drafted in the 1950s. No, Draymond Green was drafted in 2011. Yeah. NBA Christmas has been going on for a long time. So you know what you signed up for, and it's a very high possibility. If you think that you're a great player and you're going to be on a great team and you think you're going to win championships, that comes excuse me. That comes with playing on Christmas, because you're going to be one of the top teams that they're going to choose to play on Christmas. So I know what he's saying, that it sucks. And for sure, it sucks. 100%. That must suck. Playing on Christmas, just like when I had to work on Christmas, when other people out there that are more important at their jobs than I am have to work on Christmas, like, it sucks. But like Steve said, you got to do it. And it shouldn't be, oh, yeah, this and that. Oh, I hate it, and oh, whatever. Oh, nobody works on Christmas or whatever. No, it shouldn't be that negative connotation. It should just be like, you know what? I'm on a grateful platform, on a grateful sport. I'm grateful to be on a good team that they want me to play on Christmas. You know what? I'm going to be grateful about it.
Yeah. Well, and I think there's ways, though, too, that you can maybe help mitigate some of, like, I do get it that, you're going to have people are going to want to see the big teams sometimes, but have teams on rotations every few years or something like that. So then that way, maybe some players get it off, some players work it. So that way it's kind of spread out a little bit. Maybe have the players' families be able to kind of come together and go to the game. So that way they can at least have their family with them. They're not that far away from them. Just stuff like that, where you can kind of help have a little bit of bring some of the holiday cheer back to the players. But like you guys said, though, too, it's not just the players that are there. You got to think there's commentators that are commenting on all the games. There's camera operators. There's engineers. So many different people Exactly. And I was just speaking specifically to the broadcast. You also got the in-house production. You've got security, parking. There's so many people that do have to work those games for you. So it is one of those where everybody does have to pitch in and do it. And maybe there's something that the league can maybe do to kind of help offset that. Because again, we can't go back to we can't go back to the times where everything just shuts down. And even back then, like you said, Steve, you're military, you're overseas, you don't get to fly home for Christmas, not all the time, because you're stuck in some country somewhere. So it's one of those things where how can we make the best of the situation? And it's good to raise awareness about it, but like you guys were saying, to just generalize it all like he did, that there definitely could have been a better way of saying it.
Yeah,
I
agree.
He just messed up there saying that no one works on Christmas or whatever.
Yeah.
Dude, like you're not really thinking. Police officers, EMTs, nurses, doctors, like you're not really thinking, dog.
Yeah.
I think that's that kind of sums it up really of that you're not really thinking of all the other people. You're thinking of yourself. That's just in this situation that you have to go play basketball on Christmas Day. And if you like, it's almost at the point of like, if you're out of love of the game that much of it that you don't want to play on Christmas Day, that's supposed to be NBA's biggest day of the year, then you got some other things going on for you. I'm sorry, but
he's played long enough. He could call it a career.
I'm retired, buddy.
He could.
You're a 4-time champ, dude.
Yeah, defensive player of the year. Come on.
And on his team, he thinks he's the best player still. So you may have that going for you too. So, anyways, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to
whole other episode on episode 62.
We are on. Yeah, we are on to the next one, and we are super thankful for you guys for watching and supporting and showing the show to other people and sticking with us as much as we can. We also have the new year coming up. That'll be tomorrow, or actually 2 days from now. So happy New Year in advance to everybody that's watching. If you catch it on the post, you'll get the actually chance. So it'll still be New Year. So happy New Year to everybody out there. We really appreciate it. Be safe and try and be as productive as you can on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. And watch some great college football and some NFL football. Mr. G, Mike, anything for the people, man? It's all about the year.
Yeah, guys, happy New Year, man. I hope you guys have a blessed year. Yeah, all about the you. Hope you guys have a blessed year, and I hope a lot of your wishes and goals come about. And if you guys are into sports gambling, I run a Telegram channel where we offer sports gambling slips daily, and we could get you to 10, 25, 50, even $100 of daily winnings, and you only pay $10 a month. And we have an affiliate program as well where you could get some extra cash on the side. If you're watching a live episode, boom, the link is up in the chat. If not, if you're watching the recorded episode, you see it pop up on your screen, as well as my social media accounts where you can send me a DM, start a conversation, and see how we can get you on and rolling.
Mr. BC, man, at the end of the year, what you got for the people, man?
I'll say, man, no matter what you guys have been going through this year, just know, just like it's a new day, it's a new year. Set goals for yourself, but don't just set some abstract ideas. Put some pen to paper, actually come up with something concrete, put it in writing, put it out there, because then if you're seeing it, if you're visualizing it, you're not just putting it in your head, but you actually visualize it, tends to hit a lot deeper. You tend to follow those goals a little bit more, and just start with something small. Don't go with something too drastic. Maybe make that your end of the year goal. But just take those small little steps, day by day, week by week, month by month. You'll be able to accomplish those big goals at some point. But if you guys want to catch up with the journey, see how everything's been going so far, you can follow me on my social medias at BCTheBrand_media for Instagram, BC the Brand on Facebook. Been just doing a lot of stuff. We're working some of the stuff with the website. We're working stuff with LinkedIn, just trying to build the professional portfolio for voiceover work. Camera work, public address announcing, you name it, I'm trying to do it. Again, that's BC the Brand.
Absolutely. And I like to say one more time, please give us a like, subscribe, and pass it along to anybody and everybody. There's going to be a big year for us in 2026. We really appreciate everything. 2025 has been amazing for us. We've grown exponentially since we started this podcast. So we're going to be up to 62 in the new year, and it's going to be a big year for us. So thanks for coming along the journey with us and the ride, and we really truly appreciate everything you do. For Mr. BC, Mr. T, Mike, I am Stevie B. Maybe one day I'll grow a beard according to the fans. Anyways, have a great night. Happy New Year. Be safe out there, and just be safe. Have a good night.